Hey, it's Trans Man Am, and it's week something or other of me being on testosterone. It says in the title. And I have not updated for a long time. And I've had a couple rough weeks. Not physically. Physically, there's been like no real change other than my legs are getting a little hairier, or the hairiness is like going up the leg, I guess. Um, I was contracted to do some work with Missoula Children's Theater, a local theater company, as a bassist, and the weight of doing a show was way too much for me. I was getting anxious to the point where I was not eating. I was throwing up, not being able to sleep, and just not being able to handle the idea of holding down a job. Um, So I was definitely feeling some somatic symptoms of anxiety and of depression and stuff, and had just trying to been like keep my life on track. So making videos was a little bit too much of what's going on. Anyway, I am no longer doing that. Doing that show, I had to back out, and I feel better. But now I'm like overeating and kind of still feel guilty about it, and it's a little awkward. So there's that. My acne is out of control. And I came out recently at the mental health center where I go to day treatment as trans. So I am dealing with like coming out to clients and to staff and dealing with a lot of questions and stuff in potentially very awkward, not very socially acceptable situations. So that's a challenge that I'm working through right now. But I think at this point, with the level of anxiety and depression that I've been going through, that uh, this is a better choice for me to kind of get back into treatment and to really focus on my own health for a while. I went camping by myself last night to just kind of chill out and spend some time just thinking and reflecting. I didn't do any of that. I just read and fell asleep. So, you know, we don't always get to solve our problems on the time frame that we want to. But it's important to just kind of keep going and keep trying new things and going back to the ones we know will work in order to be better to ourselves and to help. So that's a little bit of what's been going on and why you haven't seen me posting. I'd also like to introduce my dog. Shelly, come here. Come here. Up. Come here. Up. Shelly. Right here. Come here. Up. 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 This is Shelly. Look over here. What's here? Do you see it? Do you see it? It's a camera. It's a camera. Did you see the camera? Um, she is a half German Shepherd, half Airedale Cross, and her name is fairly significant to me. For, I guess, two generations now, my family has named all of their dogs, and I guess a cat that we had, with the letter S. So I had to pick a name that started with S. And there's a John Steinbeck book called East of Eden that you may be familiar with that I absolutely love. Um, and have read it a few times. And there's a word in there called Timshel. I actually have a friend who has it tattooed on her foot. And this word had been translated in the biblical sense of thou shalt overcome sin and thou canst overcome sin. So you are strong enough to do so, and it is your duty to overcome sin. That is what that has been translated as for a long time. Well, Steinbeck translated it as you may overcome sin. Um, and I've taken that to kind of mean I have the power to, but it's up to me how I choose to live my life and um, how I choose to deal with the difficult things that I face. And that's Timshel, Timshel, is where I took Shelly from to get my dog's name. So I look at Shelly and I see that I may overcome the tough things in life with the unconditional love of a pet. And she's been really snuggly the past 3 weeks, so I think that she's kind of known something's been going on. Um, but she's a good egg, um, and every time I look at her, I feel this, everything's going to be okay sensation. She goes with me everywhere. Um, she is a companion animal, an emotional support animal, and she knows, what's going on with me even before I do. So I listen to her, and I know that I can go through life with love. I can choose the way that I want to live, and I can do so with um, grace and just a sense of goodness and wholeness in who I am. So that's a life that I'm going to choose to pursue, and both in my gender and through these tough times of coming out of the mental health center and this kind of rougher time of not knowing where my mental health is right now. So yeah, that's just a little update. I hope you all are well. Send me questions, send me answers, send me emails, whatever. I love it. And I will talk to you soon.